Imagine this. A demon whispers in your ear late one night, "This life, as you now live it, you will have to live once more, and innumerable times more, and there will be nothing new in it. Every pain, every joy, every unutterable thought and sigh must return to you, all in the same sequence." How would you respond? This is Nietzsche's eternal recurrence, not just a metaphysical theory, but a psychological challenge, a thought experiment designed to rupture your comfort, disturb your certainty, and test your capacity for affirmation. Because if everything you've done and everything you will do must be lived again and again, down to the smallest detail, would you still choose this life? Nietzsche didn't pose the eternal recurrence as scientific fact. He offered it as a mirror, one that doesn't flatter, one that dares you to stare back, unblinking, and ask, am I living in a way I would be willing to repeat forever? It's tempting to dismiss this as philosophical theater, a dramatic metaphor meant to provoke. But that's the point. Nietzsche wasn't interested in comforting ideas. He wanted to awaken, to shake the soul out of its sleepwalk through time. Because many of us drift, postponing meaning, waiting for a later that never quite arrives. We endure routines, jobs, relationships, versions of ourselves that feel like placeholders. But if you had to live that exact day again, would you still live it the same way? That's the gut punch of recurrence. It reframes time not as a line with an end, but a circle with no exit. A circle that traps you with your own choices. And so, it becomes a test of values, of intention, of what you allow, pursue, tolerate. Nietzsche imagined the eternal recurrence not as nihilism, but as its antidote. He saw in it a way to confront existence without appeal to divine justice, final reward, or cosmic escape. If this life is all there is and it loops forever, then the weight of every action deepens. Every yes, every no, every moment not seized. But here's the twist. Nietzsche doesn't tell you what to do with this concept. He simply hands it to you, raw and burning. The demon's whisper is yours to interpret. Some may feel horror, trapped by their own regrets. Others might feel liberation, the freedom to shape a life worthy of repetition. And that's where the deeper layer emerges. Nietzsche didn't expect you to believe in literal recurrence. He wanted to know whether you could affirm your life so fully, so completely, that you would embrace even its repetition. Not just the highs, but the suffering, the mistakes, the banality. Could you say yes to all of it, not because it's perfect, but because it's yours? The eternal recurrence, then, becomes an ethical compass, not of morality in the traditional sense, but of fidelity to oneself. If you wouldn't choose to relive what you're doing, why are you doing it? Nietzsche believed the highest goal was not happiness, but amor fati, love of fate, not merely accepting your path, but embracing it without resentment. To say, I want nothing to be different. I choose it all again. This isn't about romanticizing pain or glorifying hardship. It's about stepping into your agency, owning the architecture of your existence. Imagine looking at your life as a craftsman looks at their creation. Would you replicate this design 1,000 times? Or are there parts that feel hollow, pieces that no longer fit, structures built for someone you no longer are? This is where the challenge becomes intimate. The eternal recurrence doesn't judge. It doesn't condemn. It just reflects. And that might be the most terrifying and empowering part, because it places you at the center, not as victim, not as spectator, but as creator. The idea isn't to obsessively optimize every second. It's to cultivate a life of meaning, to build a rhythm, a story, a presence that you could face again without flinching. And that's not about perfection. It's about alignment. Nietzsche knew life included tragedy, absurdity, and chaos. He wasn't offering a formula for bliss. He was offering a posture, a stance, a way of saying yes to the whole thing. So when the demon returns, and he always does, what will your answer be? Will you beg for escape? Or smile, take a breath, and say, yes, again? Because the question of eternal recurrence is not about metaphysics, it's about meaning. And your answer doesn't just reveal how you see time, it reveals who you are and who you're willing to become.